What's going on, everybody? This is Island Hopper TV, and today we're going to talk about the things to do while visiting Pattaya Beach, Thailand. Let's do it. That's right, Island Hoppers. As we show you around Pattaya Beach, there will be timestamps below so you can bounce around from location to location. So check the description below. Let's get started. Good man, Samboon. If you guys come to Pattaya, come see Samboon. He takes you everywhere on tours. Nice guy. First up, we're out here at the Sanctuary of Truth. This is actually a religious site that is located here in Pattaya that is intricately carved using wood. So it's a temple made of wood showing off the Thai craftsmanship. Now here you will see traditional Buddhist and Hindu architectural designs as you continue to walk around here. It's very interesting. Construction began in 1981 and is still an ongoing project. The temple itself is surrounded by beautiful gardens and views overlooking the Gulf of Thailand. You will notice that I am wearing a hard hat as I'm walking around here, and the reason is because it is still under construction. So yes, you too will have to wear a hard hat. The entry fee for visiting the Sanctuary of Truth is around 500 baht per person. Expect to be here for about 2 hours. In my opinion, this is the most impressive temple in all of Thailand. Next up, we're headed to Buddha Mountain, known as Khao Chi Chan Buddha. It's actually a carving into the mountain side that you Buddha carving. Now while here there is no entry fee for actually walking around and taking pictures. They do have stalls for food and also souvenirs. Next up, we're actually going to head over to one of the many adventure parks they have across Pattaya. So while you're here, do check out the adventure parks, and while at these adventure parks, you can do some off-roading. We rented some ATVs. They also offer shooting guns at these adventure parks and riding elephants, but it's actually not looked upon very kindly or fondly for tourists to come here and ride elephants, so we opted to ride the ATVs. The Thai people here at these adventure parks will offer you to ride the elephants. It's just not looked too fondly upon by other tourists who come from distant lands and will judge you for it. And honestly, riding these ATVs is probably better. Next up, we're going to do some island hopping out to Koh Larn. So from Pattaya Beach, you go to Koh Larn. We took a speedboat. It took about 45 minutes to get there, and they have multiple different beaches. Now, once out on Koh Larn, you're going to have jet skis and other activities to do in the water. A private speedboat like this costs around 75 to 100 US dollars. They get to take you around for 3 or 4 hours. And the benefit is you get to see more of an exclusive tour than if you took the ferry to go out there. I found the beaches on Koh Larn to be better than actually in Pattaya City. And as we continue to show you around Pattaya, I want to let you know that we did make a full travel guide for Pattaya when we came here. So if you guys want to check the description below for that. We also made videos across Thailand for the best destinations in Thailand. There was about 12 that we included. Some of the most popular things you're going to do while out here are water sports. They've got the jet skis, they've got the speedboats, they've got these floating bridges and floating pontoon boats for the kids where they can actually hang out and do some splish splashing on the water. And then just getting out there on a banana boat, inner tube, lots of water sports here in Pattaya, especially even parasailing and paragliding. And like I was saying before, we did make several travel guides from Phuket and Bangkok and other places showing some of the other activities, but Phuket, Koh Samui have a lot of water sports as well. We did put those links in the description, so check those next. Now we're going to talk about local food, street food, and restaurants. The local Thai food is going to be like a noodle soup with pork ball or fish balls, chicken balls. They've got these little soup dishes that you have. You also have sauté on a stick, you have kebabs, fried pork rib, and here's a look at some of those kebabs. They've got crocodile, ostrich, lamb, pork, chicken, fish, so much variety of kebabs as you can see. And then they have a lot of international cuisine. You know, you have the French fries and burger. You can get those pretty much anywhere. Lots of fried rice, pork fried rice, shrimp fried rice, seafood fried rice. And then you have curries like Penang curry and other Thai curries. I noticed a lot of Italian restaurants, so that comes with pasta carbonara is really popular here. And then bugs. For those of you who like to eat bugs, you're going to be able to find that here. Of course, many restaurants serve pad Thai. And then you have Hooters. Every, tourist destination in Thailand is going to have one of these. So if you're into Hooters, they got them. Also, they have Indian restaurants. They've got the Maharaj of Indian food here, which is basically the best Indian food, they say. That's the way they call it. And then Burger King and some of the other fast food establishments are here for those of you who don't want to step too far out of bounds with things that you're used to. Next up is self-care. You can get lots of massages here. As you can see here, she's putting a cucumber mask on my face. This was my first time doing that, but they say it's good for hydration. I don't know. I mean, I felt like it was refreshing and very cool on a hot day. So if you get a chance, try that. But many foot massages, neck and shoulder massages are my favorite, especially at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon when it's so hot. I just stop by, pay the 300 baht, which comes out to around $7 to $8, and then I give them a tip. Going here. Also, haircuts. I do these here. Next up, we're going to talk about pool days. So most of the hotels and resorts you're going to go to are going to have a pool, whether it's on the ground level or on the rooftop. I've stayed at multiple different hotels across here, and it seems like you're going to get a mix. I personally like the rooftop pools like I got at the Courtyard. You can see the views of the city, and then you get views of the Gulf of Thailand. For those of you looking for party and action, Walking Street seems to be one of the most popular places people go for nightlife and entertainment. It is a bit ruckus for me. Loud music, lots of entertainment, but you go inside one of the many clubs inside here and you will see it's just like any club in the rest of the world, but this seems to be where the highest concentration of nightclubs are, right along Walking Street. It's definitely worth taking a stroll here around 7 to 8 o'clock at night. Obviously, the more shenanigans take place a little later on in the evening, so depending on what your taste is, keep that in mind. They do have an ice bar here, which I found to be interesting. There are other areas in Thailand where they have party and nightlife. It just seems like Walking Street is the most popular. And after all that party and walking and excitement, sometimes it's nice to just unwind and chill out at the beach. Obviously on the beach it's going to be hot, but thankfully they've got umbrellas and they've got other ways to keep you cool. A nice ice cold beer or a margarita or a mixed drink is one way to do that. But really, if you wanted to get some vitamin D, just hanging out at the beach for a couple hours, getting some sunshine can really make you feel a lot better. And Pattaya's got plenty of beaches. There's Jomatian Beach. There's also the beaches on Koh Larn, and then there's Pattaya City Beach. Most of the beaches do charge for umbrellas and the lounge chairs. Typically the price is around 200 to 300 baht per hour, but they're probably negotiable, so try to finagle something like that while you're talking to one of those people and they'll give you a good price. The sand here is more golden and granulated than the white, soft, silky sand you get in the south. And while you're sitting on the beach, you might see some paragliders. That's something that you can consider doing. Here, they have many different activities, including the paragliding and parasailing, so that's cool. Let's talk about these elephant parks. For those of you who want to see elephants but don't necessarily need to ride them, you can simply go to the elephant park and feed them and get up close and personal with them that way without actually jumping on the back. But saying hi to elephants, I don't see a problem with it, especially as long as it's considered a humane treatment of the animals. You can go on Google and research which elephant sanctuaries or elephant parks are considered more humane than others. These are Asian elephants, so they're not as big as the African elephants, as you will notice. Next up, we're going to talk about the Million Stone Park, which also includes a crocodile farm, which includes a crocodile show. And you can see here it is a big park, lots of activity, and a wild crocodile show. You may or may not want to pass on that, up to you. I'm just saying that is something that people do while here. If you're looking for more of a spiritual activity to do in the daytime, you can always head up to the Golden Big Buddha here in Pattaya. There is no entrance fee, so it is a free activity. The only thing you might have to pay is for transportation to get up there. Typically one of those collectivos will take you. If you're doing a full-blown collective with other people, you'll pay maybe $2 tops. If you're taking a motorbike, same thing, $2 to $3 to get up there, go and come back, maybe $6. So take a collectivo, you go up there, you get good views around Pattaya as well as some spiritual enlightenment from Buddhism, which is very common here in Thailand. Next up, I'm going to recommend the Nong Nooch Tropical Botanical Garden. This is a 500-acre botanical garden, popular tourist attraction. They also have a major scientific center dedicated to cycads with its own cycad gene bank. So very interesting place to visit. It is about 400 baht per person. They also have an interesting elephant show, as you will see when you get here. Now we're going to go to Mini Siam. As many of you already know, Thailand used to be called Siam before it became called Thailand. Now here at Mini Siam, you will see iconic buildings, monuments, and architectural wonders dating back to the time when it was called Siam. So definitely try to check out the beautiful landscape gardens here, right in the heart of Pattaya, really. Next up is Muay Thai fighting. People will be pulled off the street to be introduced to Muay Thai fighting. You can actually step right in there in the ring. I don't know if it's going to be quite as intense as what you will see with a real Muay Thai fight. And those are happening pretty much right here in Pattaya along Walking Street. You just go down there and the next thing you know, you're watching a live Muay Thai fight, and they're really fighting for real. This is not play. Because you will see how hard they are hitting. I mean, when the sweat goes flying, you know it's real. My best recommendation would be just let the professionals there along the street do it and try not to step in the ring and actually get knocked out. Next up is going to be shopping. Some of the shopping includes getting tailored for a suit or custom shirts, which I did while I was here. They also have plenty of other shopping, souvenirs, and cheap accessories that you can pick up all across Pattaya. I am a pretty big guy, and I noticed that some of the clothes shrunk, or I would buy them at 2XL and they would shrink and then they wouldn't fit because they were made of cotton. So keep that in mind when buying the cheaper clothes. But the tailored clothes, those were actually high quality and didn't shrink, and if you got a 2XL, it literally lived up to that size. While here, riding mopeds is very popular. Just please be careful when renting a moped before I give you that information. But yeah, you can easily rent mopeds by the day for around 300 baht, 400 baht, depending on where you go. You can also grab a moped ride with a Grab driver. Next up is going to be hanging out at your hotel. Some of these hotels are really amazing resorts. You don't even need to leave them. They've got the pools, all-inclusive food. They've got the spa, everything you could possibly need here, multiple different restaurants and bars. So just hanging out at the hotel can be fun too. There's a couple ways to approach the hotel situation. One is you could get a hotel right in the middle of one of the soys, like Soi 5 or Soi 8, and then you just step outside and you're right there in the action. Or you can stay at a place like Hilton or the Marriott. But either way, while in Pattaya, expect lots of nightlife. Pattaya in the daytime I found to be very hot, especially around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're not by a pool or out there in the water, I would say it's not even worth being out. So nightlife really is the time when Pattaya comes to life. That starts around sunset and goes all the way up until 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, depending on if you do after parties. But if partying till all hours of the morning are not quite your thing, they do have plenty of malls that you can escape to get out of that heat. So going to places like Terminal 21 or one of these several different malls, but this here is a look at Terminal 21, which I think is the most impressive mall in Pattaya. And just in case you're wondering where you recognize this name, Terminal 21 from, they have several of these malls in Bangkok. Next up, they do have the Ripley's Believe It or Not area. So if you're into that kind of stuff and you want some entertainment in the daytime where they're gonna have air conditioning and some interesting sights, go to the Ripley's here at the area known as the Royal Garden Plaza. And as you can see, they also have a Madame Tussauds wax museum, so that's kind of fun. Now on the outskirts of town, they do have an area where you can cool off indoors. It's called Snowland. So if you guys want a cool place to get, out of that hot sun out here in Pattaya, head outside on the outskirts of town to Snowland. If you guys do choose to come down here to Pattaya, it is about 2 hours away from Bangkok's main airport, but they do have an airport that's a little bit smaller down here that they share with Rayong. So I would say plan for 7 days in Pattaya, at minimum 4 days, at most 2 weeks, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, that's going to conclude this episode of Pattaya Beach out here in Thailand. Hope you guys enjoyed it.